last time you've seen this engine, it was running okay-ish, let's say. Still, it was probably not firing correctly when it was on one of the cylinders, the first one, when it was cold. We've checked the compression and it looks actually very consistent between the cylinders. Actually the lowest one was on cylinder number 4, first one was okay. I need to check what is the recommended value or like the healthy value for this engine, because I'm not sure. The compression ratio is 9.5 to 1 and we've measured around 10.3 with some variation between the cylinders, but around that number, I mean 10.3 bars of compression, which is of course not the same as compression ratio. So maybe not very high, but not terrible. I need to check, as I said, what it should be normally. Yeah, I have a leakage of the coolant somewhere over this whole hose here from the near the water pump. Yeah, there is a big pool of water coming out of the coolant actually. Yeah, need to do something about that later. It's a small leak, but over a few days I can already see it's below minimum. Alright, so the engine was running, as I said, okay-ish, but the sound was still, well, it was noisy because of the push rods and the lifters basically having too much gap. And this version of the engine already has a hydraulic lifter, so you should not have this problem. But in the cylinder head, or over it, they left this old system of adjustment of the valve gap. I will show you that in a second here. Yeah, so even though you have the hydraulic lifters which should just take care of the gap when everything expands when it's heated, you still have to actually not adjust it periodically like with mechanical lifters, but you have to set it as some initial value. So you have to actually push the lifter a little bit, so it then has still some space to work out whatever the gap will be when the engine heats up. And I left my friend Wawrzyn here to do it. I went for a pizza, actually to eat some pizza, and he was so quick that by the time I was back he already finished it, so sorry I cannot show you the process. But anyway, he did a very good job, and now the engine is sounding much quieter. I will show you that in a second when I fire it up. And in fact it's because it's much more quiet, we can now hear that the bearings in the alternator are quite noisy, so probably we need to get a new one, not the alternator, but I mean replace the bearings. But the other problem is that we wanted to get to go for a short drive to test the new setting of the lifters, or those gaps rather, and we managed to go like 100 meters and we completely lost electricity because the battery died, and battery died because after we've measured that we had no charging from the alternator. Yeah, so either there's something wrong with the alternator, or the other day I was actually trying to make a photo there, take a photo, and I think it may be as simple as disconnected this what is it called, the D plus? No, yeah, I think so. There is excitation Yeah. So basically, where brushes go to the rotor in the alternator. So I need to check that in a second. This engine could have like 3 or 4 different types of alternator. This one is a Polish one. Well, most of them I think were Polish. This one I think takes the voltage regulator that is integrated with the brushes. It's based on Magneti-Marelli system, which has a connector going to the back with this excitation. So I need to check this, but this bonnet rod here is a bit in the way, so I will have to do something else to keep the bonnet up, and we'll see that in a second. Let me take you there. I'm not sure if this is visible, probably not here. Yeah, that should be connected somewhere over here. I cannot see it. Damn it. There should be. Yeah, somewhere over there. Like, let me see that first. Yeah, maybe I will clean it up first a little. You know what? Let's first check the icon for the battery. I think it's not showing up when you turn on the ignition. Yeah, on the instrument cluster. Let's see that. By the way, the battery is now charged. Of course, we've charged it overnight. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there is no battery icon. Cannot see it really. Do it just by feeling it. Where is that damn thing? God damn it! It's not going in. Okay, I was doing this upside down. The connector. Yeah, I think now it's in. Now it should be in. Let's see the icon now. Right. Still nothing. Oh man. Okay, I need to think about it. Okay, I've got 2 other alternators. This one is of a bit different type, and it looks past it. I mean, at least the bearings are. Oh, well, yeah, it started moving, but yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a bit different kind. This one is the same as in the car right now. Yeah. The bearings are also not in the best shape, but anyway. This is, as I said, the same. So here's the regulator. And yeah, the connector we're missing or was actually unplugged goes there, yeah, to that small contact there. On the car, this capacitor is on this side, so it's easier to access. Maybe I will take this out and have a look at those brushes, because either I could replace the whole thing or just the brushes. I'm thinking about that. Yeah. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on. I could try to measure it, but since we need to actually replace those, or it would be the right thing to do to replace those bearings, I will just probably take that thing out. Yeah. I disconnected the battery and was going to unbolt the alternator, but at that very moment Wawrzyn called saying he's gonna drop by to help. We have repeated my trials, but this time with 4 hands to a surprising result. We've also found one curiosity, a relic of a crazy 90s you could say. The speedometer had an anti-tamper seal. Okay, try one more time. Ta-da! See that? Now it's working. Why it wasn't working before? I don't know. Probably when I was measuring that under the hood, I was using basically my hands, right? So I could see the 12 volts running through this icon. But when I just left it there, connected to the ground, and came here to see that, I don't know, maybe the connector was a bit dirty and I couldn't see that. Then Wawrzyn came, helped me with that, he was holding that, and we could see that it's actually fine. But this was after we've taken off the the instrument cluster out. But anyway, as you can see now, also the whole backlight is working, so yeah, it was worth it. Anyway, what happened also in the meantime, because we did a bit more. Yeah, so also we've changed those damn fuel lines. They were crossed here, someone crossed them. Okay, that's whoever did that had an idea that okay, there is a leak. Let me just take the lamp broke. Somehow I think we spilled a lot of fuel on that lamp and... Kurwa, no ten drugi! Uh-oh. Apparently didn't like it. Yeah, I need to take a look later. Anyway, whoever was the previous owner, yeah, he must have seen that it's spilling fuel on the nipple on the fuel tank, the return line. So he actually switched to this nipple here, next to the fuel inlet, whatever. But what whoever he was did not realize was that the line that he used, so the line that is normally used for the fume extraction from the charcoal filter, has a restriction, a giant restriction. Let me just find it. Oh, here. Yeah, so this was the line that was there, and here, exactly here, is a piece of pipe. I don't know if you will be able to see that, maybe. So there is this like a metal piece there with something like 1 millimeter, maybe maximum 2 millimeters hole there. Yeah. So when we've checked the fuel pressure, and we've put the gauge here, on the video you can see over 2 bars, but we've actually seen 3 bars even there, while this whole system works between 0.8 and 1.2, so around 1 bar. So this fuel pump had a really bad time, and of course much more fuel was going through the injector to the engine, so we hope that now this will be actually working quite okay and no more fuel in the oil and so on. Yeah, interesting. What we actually end up doing is we've changed back this crossing here between those two return line and the fumes line, but we've actually had to anyway cross it here and also put it back here because of this leak on the fuel tank is still there. Nie tniesz do siebie? Losujemy ten akurat. So we've used actually this patent with this line there. It's temporary because we need to change the fuel tank anyway. So just for few tests, I think it will hold okay. Besides, it's now about 0.8 bar. Well, actually here on the return line it's even less than that. So yeah, should be okay. All right. Yeah, sorry I didn't show you all of that, but this was also quite chaotic investigation. Let's do a test drive, I guess. Okay. No i co żeś zrobił? A. Dobra, to jeszcze raz. So the damn thing is still fighting back, but this time it seems to be running clean. For whatever reason. For example, we did see yesterday when we've crossed those fuel lines, we've seen in this one that it was foaming, sort of. There were some bubbles coming out of it. So maybe it's sucking air together with fuel. I'm waiting for the new fuel tank that will arrive here in, I don't know, 2 to 3 days, together with a new fuel pump just in case. That damn thing was quite expensive, I mean the fuel tank. Anyway, so we will change that, maybe this will help. What else we've changed was the ECU, because I had another one. I'm not sure if that changed anything because we didn't take it for a next ride. After that we barely made it from the first one. The idea here is also that the ECU has some adaptation, and when you turn off the power for some time it will delete it. It might be adapted to, you know, to have it much leaner because it was then getting too much fuel, so yeah, it was trying to do something about it. So of course this is a second unit that was unplugged for at least 3 years, so definitely it has a like deleted adaptation, but I'm not sure if it did anything. Also, yet another idea is to change the swap this fuel regulator, because maybe, just maybe, the other one had a rough life because of those 3 bars that was apparently there. Yeah, it's a long shot, maybe, but I think the best course of action is to first replace that fuel tank and see if that helps in any way, and also it will definitely help for the fuel smell that we have here. Yeah, it's not good. We could replace the whole thing, but as you can see, this whole assembly, but you can see
someone has broken one of those nipples here and we would have to dig it out somehow. Not something that I'm keen on, let's say. Yeah, although now when I look at it, I can see that it I know now why we're getting the gas linkage constantly falling out from the other one, because see, I think on the other one this is broken. Okay, so actually replacing that wouldn't be such a bad idea, or at least we could swap this arm. Yeah. Anyway, I will try to dig it out, although it's done in a strange way. I'm not sure how to take out this plastic piece first, and as you can see, it is blocking access to one of the bolts there. Yeah, but anyway, fun continues.